Welcome to Education Wave, Success Made Easy. Sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So in this video we are going to discuss about flowers, the pre-fertilization events, like the before the fertilization, what are the processes that flowers undergoes. Okay? So first of all we will discuss a little about flowers. We all know that the flowers have different kinds of different parts. These are the petals, which we can see that it has rich colors, and we can also see that the flowers are they give off some kind of aromas. Okay, so all these attractive things like colors and this scent are for a special reason, and that special reason is sexual reproduction in flowers. Yes. So the flowers you see every day in different colors and they give off some beautiful scents. So these all attractive things are just for a special reason, that is for sexual reproduction. So they just want to attract birds, insects, flies so that they could help the flowers to be pollinated. So, if a bird finds this flower attractive, it will come and somehow the anthers or the pollens will rub off on it. Okay? And then in a similar way, this bird will go to another flower. And this whole thing, what is happening here is it is transferring the pollen from one flower to the another flower. So this is how this flower is able to achieve the goal it has from the beginning, right? So the flowers, the petals, or the beautiful scent, it was all for the sexual reproduction. It was all a strategy from the beginning. Okay, so let's discuss about the parts of the flowers. We are going to discuss it from the very beginning. So you will see that this flower, we all know the petals are also known as corolla. Now you will see that this middle part, this whole thing, if I could draw here, this thing here is a female organ, or you could say a female part, which is made up of a stigma, a top surface where a male reproductive organ will come, pollen grains will first reach here, and then there is a style. It is a pathway so that it could reach, it will help it to reach to the ovary. So the ovary is the main location where this whole fertilization thing will going to is going to. So this female part is combined, like this is stigma, this is style, and the style will help the pollen grains to reach here. Exactly, not the pollen grains, the male gametes. So pollen grains, if you zoom the pollen grains, it carries two male gametes inside it. Okay, so the pollen grains, the whole pollen grain doesn't get inside the ovary. It releases its two male gametes into the style and it reaches the ovary. Okay, we will be discussing it later. And this is ovary, and then there is a ovule inside it, or this egg thing. So if I zoom it, the ovary part, so there are eggs. Okay, this is egg. This is also the structure looks like. So the female part we have understood. Now the male parts. So as you could see that this whole thing, which looks like style, but it is actually a tube-like structure. If I draw it here, it looks like this. The male part is made up of this filament. We call it filament, which is attached to the thalamus part. This is the thalamus part. Okay, or you could say that this is attached to a stalk, which gives the whole flower a support. So this is filament, and it has this bilobe structure. This is one lobe, and there is another lobe. So this is a bilobed structure, which is known as anther. And this anther carries pollen grains inside it. Okay? So this is the whole part we are discussing here. The male part, the female part, and the petals are known as corolla, and the sepals are known as calyx. And this is receptacle. This is a receptacle, and whole flower is made up of four holes. The calyx, which was sepals. Remember that. The calyx is sepals. The corolla is petals. Androecium is male gamete. I told you that anther, which has pollen grains, the filament, they both together form stamens. They collectively called stamen, and this whole male reproductive part is known as androecium. And this whole female part, the stigma, the style, the ovary, they all together are known as gynoecium. So as you could see that the flowers are together made up of four holes, sepals, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. And this is how we describe a complete flower. So we have seen that some flowers have only female part inside it. Okay, it has only female, and some plants have only male part. Okay, so we cannot call it complete flower. We call it incomplete flowers. So flowers that contain both an androecium and gynoecium is called perfect, or we could say androgynous. This is very important because this has been asked in many in many ways, in different ways, but this is very important, that this whole flower having both androecium and gynoecium is known as androgynous. Because andro, it is telling that it has a female male part, or gynous, that indicating that it has a female part too. So this is how this whole term is indicating that the male part and the female part together having in a flower is known as androgynous or hermaphrodites. Remember that. It is also known as hermaphrodites. So if it has only a gynoecium, it is going to be named as scarpellate flowers. So it is known as scarpellate flowers. And what if it has only androecium, or we could say anther, filament, together called stamens? So this whole male part is known as androecium. So having only androecium, the flower's name is going to be staminate flower. Okay, so this is scarpellate, this is staminate flower. Okay, now, pre-fertilization event means for fertilization to occur, you need some basic requirements. And that basic requirement is obviously a male part, or a female part. So, how we are going to get that? We are going to get through this by process called gametogenesis. Okay? So, gametogenesis is the process of developing what? Developing female part or a male part. In the flower, the male and reproductive structures, the androecium or gynoecium, they differentiate and then they develop, they get mature, and that's how they are known as pre-fertilization event, because the maturity is what important here. Because after they get mature, the next step is fertilization event. So, for fertilization to occur, if this event is going to occur, we need gametes, female gametes. And for gametes to have, we need the process gametogenesis. So, this is what the pre fertilization event means, having a female part, or a androecium, a male part. Okay. Now, this part is also important. So, this is the last slide we are going to discuss. And after that, I have a CQ question for you all. Now, if both male and female are born on the same plant, for example, this is my pot, and I have this plant, and there is a flower, and this flower has what? This flower has both male and some branches have females. Okay, female part. So having both male flower and the female flower. I'm not saying that single flower has both organs. I'm saying that some flower has male part, matlab some flower has male or organs, or we could say androecium, or some flowers have females. Okay, so this plant is known as monoecious, meaning one home. Remember that if there is a plant but it has both type of flowers, some flowers having female organs, some flowers having male organs, then this flower is known as, this whole plant is known as monoecious plant, having one home for both male and female. We could use that to remember that. Some species with male and female flowers born on separate plants. It means I have this, we could say that I have a papaya tree. Okay, but the flowers on the papaya tree are only having female part. But in your house, you have a, a, a plant, or you could say you have in your garden a papaya tree that is having a male flowers. Okay, so two different, what? We have two separate plants where the male and flowers are born on separate plants. So this is known as dioecious. Two homes. One home, two home. So the papaya and cannabis are the examples of dioecious plants, and corn and pea are the examples of monoecious plants. Okay. So we have this MCQ here. If a flower is hermaphroditic, okay, then which of the following two components must it possess? So comment down the answer. This is very easy. I know you could do it. So comment it down, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, comment, and like. Please subscribe, guys. Your subscription will help me grow. Okay? Thank you so much.